Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Stepping Stones to AAC. Let's play with Play-Doh and blocks. We appreciate you joining us in the evening and learning some new strategies to go along with core vocabulary. As people are logging in, we'll just go through some of the housekeeping. Welcome to our Stepping Stones classroom. We have been filling up our bookshelf, and we actually put a few in there to preview what you might see coming in 2021. And so, introductions, I am the Bitmoji on the left. I'm Heather Prenovo. I'm a speech-language pathologist and AT consultant for Saltillo in Minnesota and Wisconsin. And I have my friend, Brittany.
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Good evening. My name is Brittany Toney, and I am a speech-language pathologist and assistive technology consultant for Saltillo as well. And I support Saltillo products in southwestern Ohio, northern Kentucky, and Indiana. So welcome. We are so glad you are here with us tonight.
Perfect. And as we mentioned, you'll see the different activities we've covered so far this fall, and we're going to continue with the same strategies and same model, keeping things simple, just trying it out with different activities and routines. So, all right. So we know that AAC is a journey, and so we want to help you start that journey and keep going with that journey. We know that everyone is at different points in the journey, and so learning strategies, practicing strategies at any point is always helpful, and just finding different ways that we can meet our kiddos and AAC users' needs is great. So welcome, and let's get started with our stepping stones.
Okay, so what are we going to do today? I think we are not going to be talking about shared book reading. Sorry, that's a typo on the slide. We are going to be identifying core words and strategies to model during Play-Doh activities and blocks. So that is why we are here today. The screenshot you see is in one of your handouts. It is in the materials tab, as we mentioned. This is our Stepping Stones to AAC planning form. And so this is where we're going to be walking through this together today to give you some practice as to how to fill this out later on by yourself. So we will identify some core words, we will plan questions and comments, and then we will discuss how we might model this and show you a video for how to do that with the activities with Play-Doh and blocks. And then this second handout that is also available in your materials tab is our reference guide. It's our Stepping Stones to AAC reference guide, just for you if you have not attended this training before, previous trainings, just to help, again, walk you through the process, and so you have something to reference following this training, or so you can hand out to colleagues who may not have been able to attend this evening. You can also find the recording on our YouTube channel, but this is just a good reference tool to reference after the training so that you can just choose your core words, plan everything, and it just kind of walks you through the process, which again we'll be talking about, but something just for your reference.
If you're like me and you go to a training and you need to refer back to what did they say, that's kind of the premise behind that. So why did we choose Play-Doh and blocks? It really can be any activity that your child or your student enjoys. And I always suggest that you pick something that you guys already know how to do and that is enjoyable, so that you're not thinking about the activity and you can really focus on the strategy and the AAC modeling. Keeping it simple and just focusing on those words is kind of the concept behind it, and keeping it fun. So any activity that you enjoy, you could replicate this. We decided to just use Play-Doh and blocks, something fun for all ages, as our jumping off point for the activity. The third handout in the materials tab is a low-tech board based off of WordPower 60 Basic. And so you can print this out and follow along with it. We'll be modeling some things on high tech and low tech during the training tonight. Also, the nice thing with this, based off of the home screen from WordPower 60 Basic, is that you can look and find core words. So if you're not familiar with core words or still kind of trying to remember what core words are, you can use this to help guide and help you think about what you're going to fill out on our organizational handout. So looking at these words, we're going to watch a quick video that I did, and I don't have any kiddos in the house willing to play Play-Doh with me, so you'll have to bear with the just me playing with Play-Doh. But listen to some of the words that you hear repeated and have that available to think about what we might want to do in our organizational handout. And I see a question. Good question. Why does the core word have open but not close? And it comes down to just some of those high frequency, first occurring type core words. So I don't know why we don't have all the opposites, but we often talk about opening things first before close. So good question, Amy.
That's a good question.
So here comes the first of two short videos. And so jot down, you can jot them in the window as you hear them or jot them on paper and be thinking about what are some of the core words that you hear in the video.
And just let me know if you guys can't hear it and I will turn it up.
Look, there's Play-Doh. What should we do? Oh, we need to open it. Help, please. Help. Play-Doh out. Squish. Roll. What should we do? Cut. 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 Play-Doh in. Go in. Go in. Play-Doh in. What should we do next? Oh, Play-Doh out. And squish. Squish. All done. Play-Doh in. You guys are awesome tonight. I was just loving seeing all the words pop up in our chat window. So there were a lot of different words that we can take away for core words. So keep those in mind. And the next video is a little shorter, but I just wanted to show that thinking about all those words that you just typed into the chat window, how we can still use those same words with another activity, even though they're not quite the same. So this one is, like I said, a little shorter. We'll listen to this quick.
Oh, sorry, hang on. It advanced a slide and I didn't want it to. Okay, hang on a second.
Let's play with blocks. What should we do? Oh, blocks in, go in, go in. Oh, I want to make them go up. What should we do? Go up, up, go up, go up. Yay! What should we do? Knock them down. Put block in, go in. So, yeah, as I mentioned, slightly different activities, but we can use and carry over those same words. So since you guys gave us a nice list, I'm going to have Brittany type in a few that I think we can target. So in, go, do, And they're words that we can use in so many different things. The words I and you are often, targeted a lot, and so we can use those as well. So the first step in this process with the stepping stones to AAC is to choose those core words. And we mentioned earlier, keep it simple. Start with just a couple. And if you're still not as comfortable with the device or the low-tech board and where things are and modeling while you are using the device, start with just one or two and then build up as you feel comfortable with them. So filling in here 3-4 words once you get more comfortable is fine. Second step is that we're going to be using the planning a question and a comment. And so the first one is the open-ended questions. And so using these help to encourage communication. Open-ended questions don't give you the yes/no answer, so it's going to keep things going, keep the conversation going. And I also think of them as kind of those errorless type questions because we don't have to have a predefined answer for it. We can hopefully get whatever response they give us. So we want to write down a couple open-ended questions for ourselves to have available so we don't have to think about them in the moment of the activity. And they can be questions that have our core words targeted in them, or it could be the response to the question is going to have the core word targeted in them. And so for practice, I switched up some of our questions on the bottom. Which one would you say is the open-ended question? Do you want ice cream? Or what ice cream should we get? And if you want to type the left, right, 1, 2, which one is our open-ended question?
All right, good job, guys. What ice cream should we get? Yep.
Nice. Very good. And again, giving that option, they can say whatever they want, and we can put them on the page. We can have fringe available. They can point to things. Whereas if we just say, do you want ice cream? That kind of just ends the, the discussion and yes, no, and do I need my device to tell you yes, no? So awesome. So the next step would be to be filling that in on our organization tool. So I pre-filled in go, do, and in. What are some open-ended questions that we could do for the word go? And again, it can have go in our question, or it can be go would be the response to our question. So if you have any ideas to type in, where could the block go? Perfect.
Good.
And if your student or your child is not quite, at those longer sentences, where go could be the shortened version of a question. And yes, Reva, that would be a good one for our next step with our comments. Where do we want it to go?
Yeah.
And it could even just be what, as I modeled in the video, what should we do? And go can be the response. So go in might be our response. Or what did it do? How about a question for do? Some of these we can reuse. I just realized.
Yeah, what should we do? Yep.
Any other open-ended questions you can think of with do? Or the answer might be do? I think that one gets us a lot of mileage, doesn't it? What should we do? So many things you can answer. How about the word in? Can you think of any open-ended questions for the word in? What do we need next? Good. Where should we put it? Where do we put it? Where do we put the block? Perfect. Yes, exactly. So with these particular core words, there's just a lot of variety that you can use and a lot of ways to generalize it into other things as well. So that is the open-ended question portion of step 2. the comments portion is what comes next. And so if your student or your child isn't responding yet to open-ended questions, so you give them that open-ended question and they're not quite responding on their own or need some help still, you can be modeling the appropriate response or the appropriate comment for them. So the idea is to write down 1 or 2 comments that you could model for them that would be a response to the question you formed, keeping in mind that we want to stay at or just above their language level. So if your child is maybe just using 1-button words, so they press, go, they press eat, or you get them to a foods page and they select, we want to keep it at or above their level. And so no more than 2 to 3 words or 2 to 3 button pushes above what they are currently doing on their own. We don't want to overwhelm them. And if you think of natural language development, when kids are first verbally starting to say things, they might just say ball, and we add 1 or 2 words. We don't put a full grammatically correct sentence together. And so think about that as you're thinking of your comments and your responses that you're going to put onto your sheet. So the filling in comments for the word go. So these can be a variety of short and long type of comments. How would we respond to where go or where should it go?
I'm going to put in the one from earlier, go in. That was
yes.
Good.
And even if you want to start thinking of outside of the blocks and the Play-Doh, other ways you model the word go. Go up, in bowl, out of bowl, good. So we can do go out. And if you want to start adding that go out of bowl, perfect. Go in, go next, I go, you go. You guys got it. Go here, ooh, I like that one too.
Yeah, here's a good word.
How about do? This one I always think I know a lot more variety, and then when I start typing them or writing them down, do can give me do more. I like it. Good. I do or you do.
Do that one.
Do that one. Oh, I like that. Do that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good. And how about for in? I know we've seen put in, go in. In there. Ooh, I like it. In here. You guys are on a roll. Very good. So you get the idea around just having that variety written down. The idea is that we are creating these scripts and doing all this work now, and then you don't have to think about it as much as it becomes more natural for you to be thinking of what you're going to say and how to model it. So then the last portion is step 3, and this one is similar to step 2, only we want to be thinking of along the lines of are we? Are we at that 1-word level, the 2-word level, the 3-word level? And so planning to have a variety in there so that if your child, gives you a 2-word and you want to expand it or add on to it, you've already thought of some ideas for those 3-word sequences. So for go, I put in there, go in, it go up, where block go, can really start expanding things. Same for do and in.
I also like planning the 1 and 2 or 3-word models separately, because if you have more than one AAC user either in the classroom or even in your home, and they are at different levels, then you can plan for both of those levels. So just as Heather was talking about.
That's a good idea, yeah. So then the final step is to start to get comfortable where things are located, either on the low-tech board or on your device. And so if you take time to plan out what you're going to say, next find it and locate it on here. And so you can use Post-it notes, you can use highlighting. If you're using your student or your child's device, you can use an outline on the button itself to really draw attention to it to help you guide yourself to where it is. And I always say, even though I've been using WordPower 60 Basic for years, the low-tech board, every once in a while I forget where more is. And so it just kind of makes me laugh because I know it's on here, and in the spur of the moment, remembering where it is always the tricky part. So practice, find where they are, practice touching it and moving your finger towards it while you're talking about the activity. So we're going to play two more short videos with the device in the video this time. So if you have printed out the low-tech board or you have your child or your student's device nearby, we want you to try practicing modeling do, go, in, or any of the other words that you picked out that are available on your board as the video is playing, and see how it goes. Let's play with the Play-Doh. What should we do first? What should I do? Oh, open. Open the Play-Doh. It's stuck. Help. Come out. There we go. Squish, squish, squish. What should we do next? What should we do? Roll. Roll, roll, roll. What should I do? Cut. 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 Where should it go? Go in. In Play-Doh. Put it in. Goes in. Play-Doh in. What should we do next? Get out. Out. Squish, squish, squish. All done Play-Doh. Play-Doh goes in the bucket. So that was modeling with the Play-Doh, and then its partner here, the short clip with some blocks. So again, see how it feels with modeling, see if there's other words you are finding to model as you go. I want to play with blocks. Let's go. Go up. Go in. What should I do next? What should we do? Oh, make them tall. Go up. Up. Go up. And fall down. Sorry, I think the video glitched on you there at the end, but you get the idea. So,
oh, sorry.
That's okay. Like I said, that one's a short one. Would like to take the last few minutes to just kind of reflect on those steps. So what questions do you still have after planning core words, those open-ended questions, comments, and modeling with the device? How are you feeling with practicing that? And have you thought of like some next steps for modeling an AAC with different activities? So feel free to type in any questions you might have, any thoughts you want to share about the strategy and how it felt.
Don't be shy. Let us know if you have questions.
All right, the first question, when would you start having the child be the one to find the words? So that's a great question, Amy, and I'll let Brittany kind of pipe in too. I always suggest at the beginning stages, it is completely okay if you are doing the majority of the talking and modeling on the device. Turning it into a compliance thing to have them find the words or kind of making them imitate can often lead to this aversion for using the device. And so it takes a lot of repetitions, but eventually they do start to pick up on it. And it may take more repetition than you had hoped, but that's okay. They do need that constant seeing the use of the device and seeing others find the words too. If there are opportunities where you can just kind of pause and give them maybe 10 seconds to see if they want to try finding it on their own without prompting, that's always a good place to start too.
Yeah, and I agree with Heather. I think it's really important just to continue modeling. I can think of one little guy, he was 4, and when we started AAC, he was kind of averse to using it, but we just continued modeling for him and not expecting him to respond on the device in any way. Just modeled during play and pausing at appropriate times. We were working on the word help, for example, and I would pause and kind of wait as before I would open to see if he would say anything. And if he didn't, I modeled help anyway. And soon he caught on and started saying help by himself. So oftentimes, again, it's just really important to just continue modeling and don't expect them to respond right away. Just give them time and they'll slowly pick up on it just as you would, just as a verbal child would with, as you're modeling verbal speech to a verbal child, kind of doing the same thing with AAC. So it just takes time.
Exactly. And I was going to say there's a quote I heard many moons ago, and I can't remember who said it, but it was the modeling without expectation. And as weird as it sounds, it works.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any other questions? As you guys are typing them in, Brittany put up our contact info so that if you do have any other questions, let us know through email or our phone. We do have more sessions coming up in November and December. Our next one is going to be on getting social, some social interaction type activities, and we'll finish out 2020 with some winter fun. Awesome.
Yeah, so
I like
be sure
having that phrase up.
yeah.
People to just kind of give that pause and that wait time for them. It's hard to do, but it can be worth it. We appreciate you guys joining us this evening. We hope this was helpful and hope to see you guys again soon. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Have a good night.